So, what's a balanced market anyway, and why do we care? I've gotten a lot of comments as I've started to share that we're moving towards a balanced market, that there's no way because prices are too high. But you guys, balanced market has nothing to do with prices. It only has to do with a balance between supply and demand. And I'm going to show you those factors that we're looking at today and what's going on in the market to bring us to balance. And most importantly, what happens with prices in a balanced market. So here we are looking at active listings, and I'm going to link my video from Monday down below so you can check that out, where I'm talking about the increase in active listings, because this has been happening. Second fastest increase in active listings that we've seen during this time period since 2005. And we all know what happened after 2005. It wasn't pretty. So this is something we got to watch. But looking at active listings, we're seeing that there has been an increase. And what you'll notice is when we look at new listings coming on the market, coming down here, we are not seeing a big jump in new listings hitting the market. So the yellow line here is 2023, and you can see in October we added 6929 listings. If you go back to September, it was 7451, and if you go back to August, it was 7333. This number hasn't really climbed. So why are we seeing more active listings on the market? It's because our demand has been going down and they're not absorbing the number of listings on the market. So this is our listings under contract, which is effectively the amount of demand we have out there. It's the buyers that are out there writing contracts on homes and that demand to really buy a home, essentially. This has been doing a slow decline since May of this year. We just really started to see number of listings under contracts go down further and further. So we've seen our demand go down, and at the same time, we're just seeing the same new amount of listings hit the market, but we see our active supply increasing because this demand has slowly gone down and the number of listings coming to market has not gone down. It's stayed relatively stable. So what we see right now with demand going down and supply coming up, that's where we get to a balanced market. But again, why do we care? What happens in a balanced market, and especially what happens to prices? Let's look at that. But first, if you're getting any value out of this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to be part of our community going forward. So this is annual appreciation, and I know it's a little bit hard to see, but I really wanted to show what happens in a balanced market and what happens in other types of markets as well. So this craziness here, where we peaked at 38% annual appreciation, this was the crazy of 2020, 2021, and some of 2022. That is what a seller's market looks like in terms of appreciation. Therefore, in terms of, prices as well. So home appreciation on an annual basis was extremely high. Then last year, as things cooled off and we began the beginning of this year, we saw some negative appreciation. And since then, it's flipped back to positive appreciation. And what happens in a balanced market is the appreciation will follow the level of inflation. So typically, inflation without the crazy that we've been experiencing lately is somewhere between like 2 to 3% per year. So that's kind of what you can expect as far as home appreciation when you're in a balanced market. Now, when you're in a seller's market, we are seeing so much more appreciation. We also had inflation increasing and getting somewhat out of control, which is why we are now in the position that we're in. What happened last year? Well, this is when we were in a buyer's market. So we saw some negative appreciation because prices were not going up, rather they were coming down. So when we're coming off of a crazy seller's market like this, obviously our appreciation starts to decrease. You can potentially see some negative appreciation if you dip into a buyer's market, and then in a balanced market, things stay pretty normal. But what happens in a balanced market as far as transactions and the type of things that you're going to see as a buyer or a seller? Well, the first thing that we're starting to see now as we head into a balanced market is sellers are cutting their list price. This is the number of price changes per week, and you can see it is starting to steadily increase. This week we saw about 2,100 price increases, where the week before we were at 2,000, 1,900, 1,700. so on and so forth. And as we were in a much stronger seller's market earlier this year, you can see those price changes were quite low. Further, when we look all the way back to February of 2022, this was even lower. That market was a time when we were in a very hot seller's market, and basically no one had to cut their prices. Rather, we were just seeing homes selling way over the list price. As the market softened last year, we saw these price cuts really jump up because we had to overcorrect for how low we were. And then we've been a little bit more normal, but as you see that starting to creep up, we are headed to a balanced market. Another thing that you're going to see in a balanced market is we'll start to see some seller paid closing costs go up, most likely. It happens more often in a buyer's market, but what we will likely see is this number start to increase as sellers are also cutting their list price. As the buyer demand goes down and sellers have to compete with more sellers out there, they do that in a variety of ways. Number one being price, and another option being offering some sort of assistance to buyers for their closing costs. Another byproduct of a balanced market is going to be the days on market. And you can see here we are starting to go a little bit higher as well, with the median days on market being about 25 days. Back here in this spike, this is where we really saw the market slow down last year. And things have recovered a bit and homes are selling quicker, but now we're starting to see this creep up again. Again, another indication of the slowing down of the market, coming out of that seller's market and really starting to be closer to a balanced market. So if you're a seller considering listing your home, you need to think about this, because not only are we getting into a slower season of the year, but we're also entering this balanced market. So the upper hand that you would have had 2 months ago has dwindled a little bit. You really want to consider listing your home at a competitive price and potentially offering some sort of assistance with closing costs or concessions to the buyer if you are looking to get your home sold fairly quickly. And for buyers, a balanced market is great news because you're not competing with a ton of other buyers, and you might be able to negotiate a little bit more to get some sort of concessions, repairs, etc., a better deal for you. With this sharp increase that we're seeing in active listings on the market, it's certainly something we need to watch, because mirroring something from 2005 doesn't give me a lot of warm and fuzzy feelings. So if you want to learn more about that, check out this video right here. And I'm going to be back next week with another market update on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me today.